Can you believe it? We are on day number 5 of our Bible memorization challenge, and today it's an exciting day because I believe that today the Bible verse that we are going to memorize is the longest one so far. Now, yesterday we had an easy one, and today is going to make up for it, okay? Because it is the longest one, and it actually has 2 main ideas in it. It is found in, do you remember the one from yesterday? Let's review. So it's Psalm 56 verse 3, and it says, "Whenever I am afraid, I will trust in you." Psalm 56 verse 3. The Bible verse for today is found in Ephesians chapter 4 verse 32. And it says this, 2 ideas. "And be kind to one another, tenderhearted, forgiving one another, even as God in Christ forgave you." Ephesians chapter 4 verse 3. Let's say it again. So we're going to say it 5 times. "And be kind to one another, tenderhearted, forgiving one another, even as God in Christ forgave you." Ephesians chapter 4 verse 3. Okay, number 3. "And be kind to one another, tenderhearted, forgiving one another, even as God in Christ forgave you." Ephesians chapter 4 verse 3. Now, do you get what the 2 ideas are, right? So we have the idea of being something, being kind to one another, tenderhearted. And actually, this idea of one another is found 2 times, right? Be kind to one another and forgiving one another. So that's something that maybe helps some of you to remember it. So be kind to one another, tenderhearted. The second idea is forgiving one another, even as God in Christ forgave you. Ephesians chapter 4 verse 32. Okay, so that was number 3. Okay, let's do it one more time. This would be number 4, right? So number 4. "And be kind to one another, tenderhearted, forgiving one another, even as God in Christ forgave you." Ephesians chapter 4 verse 32. And finally, number 5, "And be kind to one another, tenderhearted, forgiving one another, even as God in Christ forgave you." Ephesians chapter 4 verse 32. We have some geese that are coming for company here. Well, so let's do the little game here together. And how does it go? Let's start. "And kind, 1, tenderhearted, 1, even God, Christ, you." The book of the Bible, chapter 4, verse 32, right? Okay, let's do it again. I hope that this is helping you. So let's try it again. I'm gonna start. "And kind, 1, tenderhearted, 1, even God, Christ, you." The book of the Bible, chapter 4, verse 32. Okay, let's try the other way. So you're gonna start, and what do we start with? The word is "and." So, "be to another, forgiving another, as in forgave. Ephesians chapter verse 32. Okay, let's do this one more time. So you start with the word and. Be to another, forgiving another, as in forgave. Ephesians chapter verse 32. Okay, let's try to say it by memory. And be kind to one another, tenderhearted, forgiving one another, even as God in Christ forgave you. Ephesians chapter 4 verse 32. Now, a few days ago, I asked you, how would you draw the verses that we were learning before? How would you draw this one? How if you were to paint a picture, what would you draw in that picture? Again, there are two ideas. There are two one another's. One, we have to be kind to one another. One is we have to be forgiving one another. So what would be these? How would you draw it? What would be what would you put on paper to draw if you were to draw this verse? Let's say it again. Ephesians chapter 4 verse 32. And be kind to one another, tender-hearted, forgiving one another, even as God in Christ forgave you. Ephesians chapter 4 verse 32. Finally, one more time, and I hope that this is going to help you and you have already memorized almost all of it and almost completely well. And be kind to one another, tender-hearted, forgiving one another, even as God in Christ forgave you. And I'm going to have a seat over here, and I will tell you that this is the end of our lesson today. It was a little bit longer because the Bible verse is longer, but I hope that these videos are helping you, and I pray that God will help you remember these, and not only for today and tomorrow, but as we continue to review them for the 30 days. I believe that it's going to get more and more difficult, right? Because we're going to have more and more in our memory, but as we review, they should be solidified in our memory. So thank you so much for watching. Again, if you would like to subscribe, you can click that subscribe button and also click on the notification bell so you know when I will be posting the next videos. And by the way, these videos are all in a playlist called Bible from Memory. I believe that's what I named it. So send this to somebody else that may benefit from this, and encourage them to join us in our 30 days, 30 Bible verses Bible memorization challenge. Until next time, God bless you.